This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted today to be joined with Hall of Fame promoter Mr. Frank Warren. We're here in London Bridge for a Daniel Dubois and Hamzah Sheeraz workout. You know, they've both got massive fights on their hands, but other than that, how are we feeling?
I'm good, thanks, Luke. How are you, son?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. All the better for seeing you. But as we said there, you know, big weeks coming up for Dubois and Sheeraz. Both guys you've invested a lot of time into. How big is this? Both, I mean, one on different scales, but a massive one for Dubois.
Both of them. They're both away from home. They're in they're fighting guys in their own backyard as such. The next thing you can be to being in their backyard is being in Poland, in an area that's got a lot of Ukrainian refugees at the moment, so they're stepping into the lion's den, but they're very capable fighters, both of them, and I believe they will be big stars of the future. And to be a star of the future, you've got to go and do the business sometimes on enemy soil.
100%. Dubois got a massive task in his hands. Everyone knows how good Usyk is, and everyone knows what he's capable of. What do you think now was the right time to sort of, I know it was mandatory, but right time to sort of take this fight? Easily could have sort of decided to sort of wait for his development, take the fight, but he decided to take it. Why do you think now is right?
I think because he's maturing into it, and all he's going to keep doing otherwise is having marking time fights. So he needs to challenge, and this is a massive challenge for him. But I believe he has the ability. I think he has the mindset to step up for it.
Absolutely, and with his confidence and him building it back up again after the Joyce loss, how important was that development for himself to build his confidence back up that he can challenge at the top level again?
Well, I keep hearing a lot about confidence, don't we, the last week, certainly with AJ and so forth. I mean, with his confidence was the fact that he busted his eye, when he had that fight, which he was in front, when he fought against Joe Joyce, who boxed extremely well. He had a terrible eye injury. And I think the worry was coming back from that was that was the eye stand up? Well, it has done, and it's been good. So now he's he's in a good position, and I just genuinely think it's going to be his moment. I think he's young enough. I think he's got the desire, and he's certainly got the firepower to do this.
Well, you just mentioned about confidence with AJ there, and we'll get onto that. He knocked out Robert Helenius in 7 rounds. Have you watched the fight, and what did you sort of make of it?
I thought it was pretty boring up until the knockout, and that's what it was. I mean, I agree with the crowd who were booing. It was a bore. It was a bore up until then, and he caught him with a big shot. But let's get it right. He's a guy who's got a big punch, and the other guys, when he fights at that level, he normally gets knocked out when he steps up. So what happened, and I know it was a last-minute sub and all that, but I'm not going to make. I don't read anything into it. I mean, you've not learnt any more about AJ from that fight coming out of it than you did going into it.
And obviously, the next logical step for him would be Deontay Wilder. Do you think that's a right? You've seen Tyson fight Wilder. He's had the 3 fights. Do you think that's a logical step for him?
Whatever they want to do is their choice. It's nothing to do with me. I always question a fighter, especially an experienced fighter who's had an outstanding amateur background, why he didn't want to step back in for a world title fight, which he had the offer against Tyson. But that's his choice. That's where he's at, and let him get on with it.
And I was talking about off camera about your podcast with Simon Jordan, and one thing you said on there was about AJ being a legacy-defining fighter. So, if he beats Deontay Wilder, would that then be a legacy?
Let me ask you a question. Was that a legacy performance on Saturday? And the fight before, was it a legacy performance? And the fights before that were a legacy performance? He hasn't had a legacy performance for his last 4 or 5 fights. Being really honest.
But I suppose would Wilder be a legacy-defining win?
Tyson's beaten Wilder 3 times. So if he beats Wilder, if he does, I don't think he will, so what? Tyson's beaten him 3 times, and and probably taken a lot of miles off of his clock in the fights that he's had with Tyson. I mean, Tyson done a job on him in that third fight, certainly the third fight, and he had Tyson down as well, and it was a tough fight. But he didn't come out of that fight physically well, I don't think. So I wouldn't read anything what happens into that. I don't think he'll beat Wilder, by the way, but that's irrelevant.
Sorry, did you say, do you think you'd beat Wilder then?
No, I don't think he'll beat Wilder.
Which is sort of a last one from me. We saw a tweet come out on your account when Eddie Hearn was on Simon Jordan, so you were waiting on the phone. Why didn't you think they picked up the phone?
Because I was going to pull him up on a few things that were telling him the truth. He keeps coming out with these fairy stories every day. Do you know what? It amazes me. This age of what they call this journalism now. Yeah, the media that we have now on this sort of thing. No one checks anything. Just say it and then it becomes fact. What did you say yesterday? Why is that? Why are you saying that? No one checks anything. All they do is just a continual noise, and people buy into it and believe it. No one checks into it. That's what it is. And unfortunately, and when it comes to, you actually can say, to get the two people involved who you're talking about, say, well, if that is the case, what about on this date, I sent you this. This is what happened, not what you're saying. And you deal with it that way, but it doesn't mean anything. And at the end of the day, it becomes just a lot of noise. And as far as I'm concerned, our actions speak louder than words. We've guided our fighters, worked very hard, keep producing and guiding young fighters into good positions. And the same is going to be next week.
Frank, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, and all the best in the future. Thank you, mate.